All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, we got a good fight coming up soon, and we may even have another great fight coming up soon. As I do believe within the next couple weeks, we're going to have a fight in the month of October with Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed 175-pound championship. After that fight is over, the belts will spray all over the place. And we'll be back out to whatever. That's how that's going to happen. However, very good news is that David Benavidez says that he has a potential new opponent as long as that opponent accepts the offer. And that fight, man, may be actually better than the Beterbiev-Bivol fight. And that is David Morrell, the Cuban, former 168-pound WBA world champion, has been sent an offer, according to David Benavidez, from his team. Man, that's huge. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 175-pound division where stuff is popping off. Turki Al-Sheikh's got an unnecessarily expensive and overly dramatic, not at all connected to boxing production, announcing the fight between Beterbiev and Bivol. And I'm amped because, dude, Beterbiev is one of my favorite fighters. And I like Bivol a lot as a fighter. I think that they're both excellent fighters. I have a horse in a race in Beterbiev, but I know either one of these guys have a chance to win this fight. But I do believe that this fight is going to be definitive on one side or the other. Either Bivol is going to outbox Beterbiev or Beterbiev is going to kill that dude. One or the other. Either Bivol is going to be able to Bivol is going to be able to move and do some stuff and stay away from this dude, or that dude's going to hurt him. Either way, bro, I'm really, really looking forward to that fight. Now, the good thing about the David Morrell and Benavidez fight is that then you know who the winner has to fight at 175. Because both of those guys' last fights were at 175. David Benavidez fought at 175 against a former world champion, and Wojcik. And the last fight for David Morrell, I believe, was at 175 pounds as well. So you have a wonderful situation, especially if Beterbiev wins. If Beterbiev wins, it can be on and popping. Really, truly, it can be on and popping. Those guys between between Al Haymon and Bob Arum, they can make fights with David Benavidez and Artur Beterbiev. They can make those fights. And the reason that I say that is because, not a lot of people know this, but actually Artur Beterbiev was in a lot of trouble with his promoter. I believe it was Jean-Michel. That was in Canada. And there was actually some contractual issues between the two of them for a while. The reason that I know that is because their teams contacted me and asked my opinion, just kind of like off the record about it. And it was some years ago. So I actually had contact with Beterbiev's team. And so anyway, things wound up playing out. And, I'm not the type of person going, try to really stay up with somebody that asked me that type of question. I just give you an answer, move on. But I've been a fan of Beterbiev. I was a fan of Beterbiev then, and I'm still a fan of Beterbiev. So Beterbiev and Al Haymon, pretty much who was working with Beterbiev, was an advisor of Beterbiev, helped Beterbiev get over to Bob Arum and into a better situation with his promoter. One of the things that people don't talk about with Al Haymon is Al Haymon will definitely let a fighter out of his stable and let them go somewhere else and do something else and shake hands and say goodbye. You've never heard of Al Haymon going to court suing somebody for not fighting with him? right? I don't think I've ever heard of that. So I think there's a real good opportunity for that. So you have two great things that could take place. You have a great fight in Beterbiev and Bivol. And then now to differentiate Bivol and Beterbiev, I think if Bivol wins, I don't really know if those fights happen. I think maybe if Eddie Hearn is going to try to run the gauntlet with Bivol if Bivol wins. Because having Bivol lose to David Benavidez or David Morrell, you're going to be behind out doing that. Not saying that he would lose, but I think, dude, there's a lot of parity with all those guys. The most talented of these guys is probably David Morrell, but he's also the least experienced. The most experienced in championship fights is obviously Beterbiev and Bivol. But you have David Benavidez, who's also a multi-time champion in the weight class below. So this is just really, really good work at 175 if this takes place. And then you know what you'll see. You'll see people gather around and a new star being made at 175. Also, this is a way for David Benavidez Beterbiev. That fight can happen. If Bivol wins, you got the Canelo thing that comes in. But guess what? Guess who Canelo was with? Canelo's with Al Haymon. So you have three Al Haymon fighters at 175 and 160, between 175 and 168. They are really positioned to do some things in that division. And I think that Turki Al-Sheikh is actually really good in this regard. I know that I have been one to point out the, more suspect aspects of the competition, the obvious competition going on between Al Haymon and Turki Al-Sheikh. But also, when somebody challenges Al Haymon or somebody challenges Turki Al-Sheikh or anybody else, people start making adjustments and figure out what they got to do in their business to be able to compete with the guy that's challenging them. And as a result, you may see more fights getting forced out over here. Because these guys ain't just going to lay down. They're not just laying down, just going to lay down and walk away, man. They're not just going to lay down and walk away. What they're going to do is they're going to adjust and make things happen. So guess what? If Canelo is trying to go to 175 to fight Bivol to be undisputed at 175, well, having David Benavidez and Beterbiev there, David Benavidez and Morrell right there, sets him up for those guys to control that division. And who knows what? Maybe if Canelo beats Beterbiev, well, he's not gonna. But if he did, Canelo, they could get it on with Canelo up there. But anyway, Canelo will probably wind up moving back down. I love this whole scenario, though. I really do, man. I think that this is a hot division. And salute to Turkey. Salute to Turkey on that one for pushing it. Because it looks like it may wind up doing something, man. And I love this fight with Beterbiev and Bivol. I'm so upset that Shakur Stevenson is not fighting Joe Cordino on the undercard. That I'm not happy with. I would have loved to see that, but can't ask for too much. Can't ask for too much. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. I can't wait to see these fights. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.